Chapter 14. Anything Can Happen in an Election Year. Up in Vancouver, Rod and Rod Kane had made the cubes a home. Callum connected his cube to theirs, and he stayed busy as a Sparrow Army captain for Cascadia, reporting directly to Gavin Hollins. "You've come a long way, son," Rod said to him one evening after facilitating a public spaces cleanup effort in Vancouver. Since long before Cascadia was part of New America, Vancouver took immense pride in its breathtaking green spaces. Cleanup efforts were seen as almost heroic. "You're not the hot-headed kid that wants to shoot at an NADF aircraft anymore." "I guess not," he chuckled. "But don't get me wrong, I'm still vindictive. I just enjoy needling the government little by little with everything we do for people that the government can't. I'm getting my vengeance by degrees." "That's the best way to do it," Rod said. "I wish we didn't have to be so worried about the government. I wish we had protections like you had back in the United States. Maybe old President Connor has writer's block. You should write a new one and send it to him." "Ha!" Rod began to laugh, but gave it a second thought. It wouldn't hurt to be specific about our demands. If the Sparrows want the Constitution back, maybe we should have one to propose. We at least need a Bill of Rights." "Mom," Callum yelled to Marin in the other room, "Dad's going to write a Constitution." Here are some insights. For context, the region of Appalachia elected a Sparrow to the Senate. Now there's an actual American senator that is an outright member of the Sparrows. The Sparrows are calling for the ratification of a new constitution for New America because the old one was suspended and we have a new country, but there hasn't been a new constitution written or ratified yet. The Sparrow movement is expanding. Regional and local governments are very sympathetic. They're getting kind of tired of the heavy-handed tactics of the new American government, of President Connor and Defense Chief Alvarado, because things have settled down and they're seeing that they are still kind of operating with a heavy hand in the name of, keeping things stable, quote unquote. But they also promised that there would be a new constitution and it hasn't happened yet. So now they're saying it's time to put up or shut up. But there's a reason for that. Because you have a constitution, you have protections. When you have protections, people have rights. And when people have individual rights, it's a little more difficult to silence people when they're saying things that you want them to. So if you think about it, what would make President Connor so nervous about a constitution? Why is he delaying? And how long does he think he can delay? What is it about a constitution that makes it more difficult for a president to have absolute control? Well, obviously it prescribes rights to people, but it also divides up the power of the government. So the power of the federal government is not all in the hands of one person. It's divided up into three branches of the government. And then, at least in America it is. And then, of course, outside of the federal government, you still have, in the case of New America, you have regional governments, kind of like states or provinces before. And then even further down, you have counties and municipalities. So there's this power sharing dynamic that really dilutes the power of the president, which is the whole point. America was founded. We didn't want a king, and dictators are no better. So, for a president who is determined to keep order and determined to make sure that the society is stable, he wants as much control as he can have. And it started from a good place. It started from wanting to bring, get America out of America and Canada and Mexico out of the chaos of the transition of that post-AI economic transformation that just threw everything for a loop and caused people to be starving and caused people to be in desperate situations. That it was a good impulse to want to bring stability and order to society. But once that's accomplished, it is always so difficult for leaders to lay that power down and then just share it and share governing with everyone else. So that makes the Constitution a threat to his power, and he feels like he doesn't have complete control yet. So that's going to be the struggle here. So let's see what happens. Are they going to write a constitution? Are they going to ratify it? Is President Connor going to go along with that? Is he going to oppose it? He can't really oppose it because he said he was going to do it. He's just been delaying it. How long can he delay it? Well, the Sparrows are going to let him know he can't delay it any longer. So let's look forward to chapter 15 and see what they can do about getting this thing going.